we have a lot on our agenda, so we're going to limit public comments, but we will entertain any public comments. And just ask if they have to be 3 minutes or less. Yeah.
Scott Kleinschrodt from Dalton. First, I'd like to thank the board for getting the numbers to me that I'd asked for 2 weeks ago. I just got them this evening, so I've got to sort through them and make, do my own math and my own homework. So I appreciate getting that information. Secondly, I wanted to bring to you some information that you may not be aware of. Did you know that it's illegal to redeem 5-cent cans in Vermont if they are collected in New Hampshire? Did you know that was illegal?
I heard something recently, but I wasn't aware of, I'm not up on those laws.
Right. Well, I know that at least one of you know this. And I'm curious when you were going to tell Kyle at the recycling center that he can no longer separate out the returnable bottles and cans and redeem them in Vermont.
I didn't know that would happen.
Long-standing practice.
I think
Long-standing
that would
practice.
fall under his license.
Hmm?
Do they not tell that when he does the schooling for doing the dump? I guess we need to look at what they're licensed to do.
Right,
I assumed he had a license that,
I thought we were recycling those.
I don't know. I don't know.
It's my understanding that for years, they do recycle the cans, and the gentlemen at the recycling center separate out the Vermont cans. Those get sent to Vermont for the nickel redeem in the bottles. And of course, the other cans go to wherever they go. I'm not sure where they go. But this has been long-standing. It's been for at least the 20 years that I know the recycling center's been there. And I went and saw Kyle Saturday. I asked him if, of course, you folks still do this, because I know they used to. He goes, of course we do. It's a revenue stream back to the town. I said, well, were you aware? And he says, nope, no one has said anything to me.
I don't know, because I don't know whether it comes under the purview of our recycling license or not, so we'll have to look into it.
Yeah, it
Thank you
should
for bringing
be.
it to our attention.
Finally, it's a shame that due to a resident of Dalton's pettiness, we have yet again lost a revenue stream and have given the residents of our town one more reason not to recycle, and have put our select board at risk of being fined and arrested. Now that would be rather ironic, wouldn't it?
So I think we need more information before we jump to conclusion.
It's out there.
I did ask to be put on the agenda. I sent an email to the administrative assistant on November 5th, but I don't see myself on it. Anyways, I just have a short list, if it's all right.
Yes, you can take it on, that may be my omission, trying to get an agenda for us to work on this over the
Okay.
weekend, among other things.
I would like to know what progress has been made in consolidating the heating fuel provider.
For heating fuel,
Yeah, remember we've spoken about it in the past?
we have, and we will look into that at next year at the time when we can negotiate contracts for heating fuel.
All right, so no one's done anything basically at this point. I'm just looking for a status. I'm not criticizing, I just want to know.
Right. We haven't done an analysis, but we have a propane contract and then we have heating fuel. So I don't think we have multiple heating fuels.
We have to look into it. Different buildings have different fuels, so we've signed checks for different fuel things.
Right, but like propane versus
right.
diesel oil.
We just have to look into it, we just haven't had time.
Okay,
With them,
that's
so.
all.
It's on the list, it's just not on the top of the list.
That's all, okay. I would like the copies of the Northway bills to date that I asked for 2 weeks ago.
Could you pull those, Lizzie?
I had brought the concerns and I have asked Northway for them, but I have not received them. So I don't have them to give to you.
But the town gets billed by them, I would assume, on a
There
monthly
should be
basis.
statements that we've already paid them in the file.
Okay.
That's all.
Well,
That's all I
can-
want.
We will
Okay,
get those to you.
okay. At the last meeting, it was brought up that Northway is, I wanna know, A, where they are on the reconciliation of QuickBooks. How much has been loaded, what month are they on actually, where are they at? They had all that QuickBooks data to download from March or
Right.
April.
Right. So, all of it is in there, and what I don't have an update from a week ago, when I got a report from them, is they had everything in there, but there was still some some adjustment, and it's a coding issue in terms of the, payroll from February, March, and April, and I have not had a chance to check with them this week to see what progress they've made in the last week.
All right, but as far as you know, they are current on downloading all of the necessary QuickBooks data to date from last year. Or, I guess,
For this
March
current
or
year.
April of this year.
I believe
They are, and I know they were working on it last week.
But
Very
you don't know if they're
diligently
complete
on
yet.
the payroll piece,
Mm-hmm,
there's just that piece that it's in there, but they still need to do work with it. And I don't know if they were able to complete it the end of last week or not.
okay,
This is as of a week ago.
okay. And then it was also mentioned 2 weeks ago that they're reviewing last year's payroll for, inconsistencies. Did I get that right?
Yep.
They don't-
There have been some inconsistencies that they have found from last year's payroll that they've had to deal with.
Okay, at $45 an hour, I gotta say, why are they going back a year to review the payroll if no employees complained about issues?
They didn't have an
No, it has to do with the taxes,
audit.
Has to do with taxes?
the federal taxes that were taken out, or not taken out.
Or we're not taken out? Or
They were
we're,
taken out, but it's how we paid the taxes, and it's what was accounted for. I can't explain it any better than that. Do you have a better explanation than I do?
Well, the only thing that, I didn't talk to any of them personally, but basically they said basically the way it was done, the system that COLOS was doing, they would take it out in the checks every other week, or bi-monthly, whatever it is, and that they were only paying it once a month. So it created some inconsistencies or something. So I don't, right, so they just had to kind of, I guess, go back and look at that because it's been, when they're doing all the end of the year stuff for 2019, that was the
Because
issue.
payroll wasn't in QuickBooks 2016. They did a separate
They-
program. So that became an issue.
okay,
And then what they did was they would do payroll and then they would take it out of the account and put it into that one and then the payroll would go out. But instead of doing it every time payroll was, they did it once a month.
so
Which-
they shorted the taxes by half or 50%?
I don't know that. I just know that
No,
the
it was more of a
discrepancy,
timing
they are
thing.
No, it's
making
more
sure
of
that
a,
it's
just
correct.
trying to get it to balance per what was.
So maybe it was done correctly, it was just done in an odd way?
No, they are sorting that out. There were some anomalies with how it was done in the past.
Uh-huh,
So they're making sure that it is reconciled and that it's correct.
okay. Now, where do we stand with the day sheets that were missing from 2 weeks ago that was brought up?
And I think some of them have been found, and
We've
there are still
actually-
some missing ones.
there are 3 or 4 days that are missing, but the rest of them are in and to green
Okay,
as of last week.
All right, so we're just missing 3 or 4, and they're being kept current
Yes.
as we speak?
Mhm.
Okay. And somebody was gonna do a review of the certified computer billing and what we paying over $7,000 a year for versus what they now want us to pay. What's the status on that review?
Yes, I did an analysis of that over the weekend, and I have questions that are going out to certified computers to clarify some things.
Okay, so
So
we
we can
have
make a
not
decision on it.
paid the bills that they have indicated we need, like
I'm sorry?
$1,200. We have not paid them anything additional.
Not yet, no.
Okay,
Those were estimates.
okay, but you have,
Very
you
close.
reviewed it, you've reached out to them, and you've asked whether this, what rotor that they wanted $1,250 for was included in the original material or not?
She
No,
was
that
funded.
router was not,
The rotor was not, okay,
correct.
okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Katie did respond to those, just so you know. The question, Katie responded to those, just so you know.
She did respond?
She responded today.
Okay. Okay. Yes,
Linda Greenwood, treasurer. I sent you an email to let you know that the application did not, I don't know what happened to it, but it didn't go through. And the man that I talked to and bank, the Sumsick that I talked to, have indicated that 2 pieces of information were missing. The town EIN number I need, and I also need you to give me a limit on what we're gonna put on the credit card for a limit. The man I talked to down in Tampa, Florida last Tuesday, said, well, if you're asking for more than 25,000, it will take longer, but I'm like, oh no, we don't want anywhere near that. But he said, once they get the completed application, which I intend to do when I work this week, then it should take 3 or 4 business days to get
okay.
it. So, what do you want for a limit?
$10,000?
So we should be up to, I was gonna say 5, but.
5?
5.
Yeah, okay, 5.
Because
And
I'm
we're
sure
just-
that we can ask if we find a need for more,
Right.
once we get established.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we have 5,000, and I can pull the EIN number for you.
I have it right here.
Okay.
Thank you, Lydia.
Great, because I know we have 3 things on credit cards, and I tried to transfer my first to mine over the weekend, and was successful with 1 out of the 3. So that'll be good.
Okay.
And do you have to have who will be on it for that application?
Well, I think that one select board should be on it, and
I'm sorry, can you speak up a little bit? I'm
I was
sorry.
thinking that one select board name should be on it, and I didn't know if you wanted my name also. But since Tamala's got the longest, she's the newest newly elected, she's got the longest term out there, should we put her on?
I'm fine with that. And I think I looked quickly at some guidelines in terms of separation of duties. And whoever is getting the credit card should not be a signatory on it.
Okay,
So it's probably better that you aren't.
Okay.
So I think I'm fine with Pamela. Should we have 2 people?
you want the administrative assistant, you want another select board?
We could, and then what we need to have, and we can, is a written policy, so that we're reconciling this every month,
Right.
the whole board and you. And that, if you're reconciling it, that would be good, because you'll not be signing on it.
Right. Okay,
So what we'll need to have is all the receipts attached to the statement, and give them to Linda to reconcile.
so do you want me to do Lizzie and Tamala?
I'm sorry?
Do you want the 2 names to be Tamala and Lizzie?
Yes. I think is there agreement with that? You need a motion? I could best make a motion that for the credit card, we have a limit of $5,000, and that the signatories on it are Pamela Swan as the newest member of the select board, and therefore the one with the longest term. So it'll be 1 select board member and the administrative assistant, which is Elizabeth Buckman. And then we will make sure that we have a process for reconciling the statement on a monthly basis, reviewing the invoices, and Linda will be doing that piece.
Okay.
Is there a second?
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye, Tamala.
Aye, Carol.
I do that. Are we all set?
Yep, thank you.
Good, thank you very much, appreciate your help with this. Yes?
Do we definitely think this is the cord?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay.
That's very annoying.
It is
Do you
annoying.
want me to order a new cord?
Yeah.
Was that yes?
Do we want to,
It has to be over at HDMI too. You want to just turn it off?
really annoying.
Okay.
That's funny where it wasn't a problem before.
It was doing it once in a while, but it basically just says it has to be, this is an HDMI 1.5, and
We need HDMI too.
anything over greater than 2.
Okay. Yes,
Kevin Whittum, long-time resident.
I'm sorry, can you just repeat your name again?
Well, my voice is
I
bad.
know.
Kevin Whittum, long-time resident, senior. I have several items I'd like to have read to the board or with my voice. I know you're trying to cut this short, but I'd like it read into the minutes, so it'll be recorded. But I'm not gonna be able to speak all the words. Can she read it?
Okay, do you want to give us a copy and, is it,
Oh, I want it to be read into the minutes,
okay.
Tonight.
Is
If that's possible.
You want to, yeah,
I wouldn't make it all the way through anyways. Took me a while to. This one you don't need.
Oh, great. My name is Kevin Whittum, and I live at 462 French Road in Dalton. I will give a copy of this to the board, but I want to read it so it gets in the minutes. I have lived in Dalton my whole life, and I raised my family here. I care a lot about the town, and I have been a selectman in the past and did my best to help the town. I can't believe how the select board we have now is acting. It makes me sick and it makes me worried. I talk with a lot of people, and a lot of people are struggling financially with taxes and need the board to help them by running the town well, and the board is just not doing it. Town business is not getting done, and personal opinions are getting in the way of important things like finances, audits, budgets, discussions of projects like Casella, and water testing and making sure the town has enough fuel. The select board is trying to control everything itself without help from other town boards and town staff. I know the job is hard because I did it, and the board needs to do a lot of better. Here is my list of problems with the board. The board is keeping everything secret. There is never an agenda for the meetings. We used to put a paper copy of the agenda on the board in town hall in advance, and people could come by and see it. There is no agenda on the website for any meetings either. There are some minutes, but not all. People want to see what the board is doing, even if they can't make the meeting, and especially now with everything going on. The board should post an agenda by Friday before the meeting. For the budget, the board needs to tell people every week how much money the town spends and how much it has left and how much budget is left. I'm not sure how much money the town has in its bank accounts, and that is scary. The board needs to talk about the Casella project and start talking with Casella about it. People want to know more about it, but the board doesn't like the project, so they don't talk about it or give information about it. It's all secret. If a board member is against the project, they still have to do their duty and deal with it. Dalton people work hard and times are tough and there are high taxes. I've talked to people who are struggling with taxes and other things. Older folks only have Social Security and need help, and the Casella project could help them, and it would help me. The town's budget is around $1 million a year. The Casella project says it will make the town $2 million a year for a long time. So even if it is not all used by the town for taxes, it still will really help the town and the people. On the Casella landfill, there is no information on the town website about it. People have emailed in or made comments or asked questions, and the board says they responded or talked to them, but I haven't seen any of it. It's all public, and I should be able to see what the board has said to people. What is the board's plan to deal with it? What did the board hear from the town lawyer? And can I see what the lawyer said about all of this? The lawyer works for me too. People are intimidated by how mean the board has been to people who speak up about Casella or budgets or anything. People don't want to get attacked, they just want to speak or ask questions. If someone says something that the board doesn't like, they get attacked at the meeting and on the internet by John Swan and others. It shouldn't be like that. The board is 3 people and John Swan is not on the board. I see John Swan sitting in the meeting, and I think he was talking with the board by waving his hands or texting or emailing or something during the meeting. In my opinion, this should not happen, and if it does, the emails and texts are public and people should be able to see them. I want this in the minutes. I speak for a lot of people in town that are too scared to say this.
And officially, that's my opinion, by the way.
thank you for your comments. Okay, as we go on to the rest of the meeting, are there any other public comments?
I'd like to make a comment, if I could. Kevin Whittum Jr.?
Is it an open house now?
Sorry, we won't be, I mean,
Does it pertain to
It pertains to something that's been said tonight that I'd like to correct.
medical insurance?
No, again, it has to do with the Vermont's bottle law, right off of their website. It says, where is it, right there? Oh crap.
Where you go?
Under the law, anyone can return a covered bottle or can to a retailer or redemption center to redeem the deposit. That's right from Vermont's website. I don't see anything here about not being a Vermont resident.
Okay,
I'm
so
not up on the laws, so.
we're back to this. Can you open